Thank you so much for this warmth. So basically, I'm falling short of words, but this is ironic. I cannot afford it because I have to speak. Like I'm just overwhelmed with all the warmth. So, well, let's start with a disclaimer for all of you. Today, I am not here to motivate you or to, give you a motivational speech or anything like that. Today, I am here as a storyteller. So I'll share a few incidences, experiences. I'm sure you might feel relatable with it, and a few principles or thoughts which I learned, with lessons, incidences, experiences, or somebody taught me, some elders told me, seniors told me. But forgive me, I am still trying to practice all of them on a daily basis. Honestly, believe me, preaching is way more easier than practicing it daily. So I'm sure all of you here are striving in your careers, trying to achieve your passion, complete your dream, and everyone is trying to get whatever they want, whatever they have believed, or whatever they have planned. It's like we all are in a tunnel, and there is light on the other end, and we are following it. That's what is keeping us, on our toes. It is driving us forward in our future. There's a lot of planning that goes. I am sure everyone plans every day. There are to-do lists to do. There are things that we need to complete. There are tasks that we need to submit. And there's a lot of planning that goes. Honestly, I believe there are two types of plannings. One, where a bunch of people plan everything and everything works out. And the second group is they plan everything, but few places, the things don't work out, or they don't fall in the right place, or they do not fall on the right track of what we want to achieve. Honestly, I belong to the second category. Engineering was never my first choice, or it was never my first plan. That's so ironic. Now I'm in third year, I'm saying this, but it was never my first choice ever. As all of you, as we all are same, we all are here together, I also had planned a lot of stuff in school. I'll just tell you a small story. I was in first standard, like new day, new school. My parents, I live in a joint family. So whenever I say my parents, they are grandparents, they are uncle, aunties. So everyone is very involved. So everyone was anxious. How would I go to school? How would I, survive over there, honestly? New school, new students. And luckily, I'm fortunate enough to have a great school and a good family, which is very open-minded and, accepts every flaw in me. So first day of the school, they dropped me. It was a half day. So like you only play, interact, get known to the school building is really very colorful, very attractive. Like a child won't ever want to leave that place. A child will always be there. So first day, it was a half day. My parents dropped me off. I didn't cry at all. They were anxious. But the girl is not crying. That's a little ironic. The first day, the child cries, wants to be with their parents. But I was very happy to go to school. I didn't even realize that crying is important. And I saw other kids, they were okay. It was a half day, so everyone was okay. Like for a few hours, they are away from their parents and they could adjust. But the next day, we had a full day, like till 3:30. So I didn't cry the first day. So obviously, I was excited for the second day. I went again, and I didn't cry again. My class teacher, she was very happy that there's only one kid who's not crying. But that's where my first insecurity hit me. Others are crying and I'm not crying. So I felt left out. I was like, oh my God, I am the different one. Why am I not crying? So because of the peer pressure, a 6-year-old kid started crying just looking at others. I was like, no, I'm the different one. I have to cry. So I thought not crying is imperfect. And crying is what everyone is doing, so I should also follow. So I started crying. And my class teacher told this to my mom. And my mother obviously narrated this to me. So that's how I remember. Otherwise, first standard, I don't remember at all. So that's how I remember when my first... is someone saying something? No problem. Okay, I'll continue. So that's where my first insecurity hit me. Then school went on. It was fun. I loved going to school. Then my third standard came. That's where I made my first decision that I wanted to be a teacher. There were only two reasons why I wanted to be a teacher. One, they don't get homework. Second, they don't have to study and give exams. I never knew the background process, but I only knew that they never got homework. They had no one saying that give your books, submit it, and there was no pressure on them. So that's when I decided as an 8 or 9 year old kid that I wanted to be a teacher. And now when I see, there's so much background study that we have to do to become a teacher. So the moment I started growing up, fourth, fifth, sixth standard, that went off. I didn't want to become a teacher. I still remember, sorry, I just jumped to third standard, but first standard, let's go back to my first standard again. Day one, they had given me a book to write, first page, whatever scribble anything. And I had scribbled horribly. No one could read it, nothing. They only gave color pencils and all, and I wrote whatever I wanted to. I came back home, I was so excited to show. But my granny, she read it. Like, first of all, she's a legend to read what I had scribbled because nobody can read it. It was so horrible. Like, if I look back at it, disgusting. The handwriting, nobody could read it, but she read it. And she told me that this is not good. If you continue with this handwriting, this is not good. And I was shocked. I was so happy because colors, whatever I wanted, first day of school, she asked me to rewrite. And I was shocked. I was like, why would anyone do that? But that's when my second insecurity came, that my handwriting is not good. And I felt it was, I was imperfect there also. So my granny asked me to rewrite it. I wrote it very nicely next time. She gave me letters, which I traced back again and I wrote again. And then I felt nice. I'm like, yeah, this is nice now. I colored it, color pencils and all. And then the next day I showed it to the teacher. She appreciated, obviously. So this is where school became a good place for me. I was not scared of it because the teacher appreciated. So here, one thing that I learned was that we wait for others to appreciate, but we do not embrace ourselves. This is what I understood that day. Now let's come back to the third standard again. I didn't want to become the teacher. I grew up. Then honestly, why I wanted to be a teacher is because, we are in school. Teachers are the only role models other than our family members. So this is what something was new and I was fascinated by it. But then I got to understand that there's a lot of background study that we have to do. So that idea was dropped. School life was okay. I was always an outstanding student. Don't go by the literal word of outstanding. By outstanding, I mean, I always wanted to be out on the stage with friends, having fun, always outside the class where I could chill. Going on the stage, talking. I loved that attention. I loved when everyone appreciated it. And my school was really good to give me this opportunity. They gave me a huge amount of stage and audience where I could interact and I had a lot of fun. I was, I participated in different competitions. I did everything. But there is always that but in the process. So as I said, planning and steps we all do. We all plan. So I'll just tell you another incident where I was taking part in the competition, dancing competition. I had So as you see, the first standard child was not even, scared or not even known of whatever problem was there and just did whatever she wanted to. But as soon as we grow, we understand and we, imbibe those insecurities. We imbibe them. We do. Where it is the difference. If we accept them, so automatically we start working on them. But we do not accept our insecurities and we start adding them to the fear list. And that list keeps on increasing day by day. The moment the years that we grow in, the moment that we figure out something new, it starts increasing. And I'm sure whatever I'm saying is very relatable to all of you because all of you have gone through in school, in junior college, and now in our college. So, as I told you, engineering was never my plan. From teacher, it came to being a doctor. Why doctor? Because by 8th, 9th and 10th, a group of, me and my friends, had decided that we'll go to the same college, same tuitions. We had seen series and watched movies, and we really wanted our lives to be like that. But reading a 10th standard bio textbook and becoming an actual doctor is completely different. And luckily, I am very fortunate that my parents actually sit down and made me understood this, that you like bio, that doesn't mean you want to become a doctor. It's just one of your favorite subjects. I'll tell you, honestly, my granny says this to me, that if I put you in any corner of the world, you will survive. I take that as a compliment, and I hope that they really don't put me in any corner and they don't abandon me. I just take that as a compliment that I am confident enough, they believe. But by this statement, I want to show that yes, I have some confidence. But I'll tell you another insecurity what happened. Now, after 11th and 12th, I went to Baklewal just to see how the tuitions and all the things work. No offense to the tutorials, they are working really good and they're doing great job. I didn't go to that tutorial, so no offense to them. But I went to Baklewal with my dad and I saw the competition over there. My bad luck, or maybe the destiny, or maybe that was the universe giving me signal that your things are going to be on the path. Just follow and hang in there. There was a very topper student, XYZ, I really don't know his name, who had great scores and great, a better student than me, right beside me, standing on the reception table. His parents were talking about him, and me and my dad were waiting for my turn. I mean, as I told you, my granny says I'm confident. I was so scared. I wanted to run back home and I wanted to cry that, oh my God, I can't do engineering. This is not what I want to do. I want to go and, be in medical. So I came back home and I literally cried, and, I was talking to my granny in a very rude tone that as I told you, I don't want to do this. And she was asking me what happened over there. And I couldn't tell. I just got scared because I started comparing myself. I was not being myself over there, and I was trying to compare myself with someone else. Perfection doesn't have an SI unit that we need to reach the exact accurate value. It depends on who you are or who you want to be. And I was trying to reach that perfect value of some XYZ standard person I had met, and I wanted to be that. And I was like, I'm not that. And I got scared. Imagine 11th, or I was in 12th probably. Yes, I was in 12th, after 12 when admissions and all started. No, I'm so sorry. This was after 10th when we go for JE and CET and all. That's the time, the JE score. That though I never understood what percentile calculation was. I never understood, still now. So that was that peak period. Admission chaos, everyone getting good marks, everyone trying to achieve whatever they have planned. It's good to plan it, and I hope that everyone achieves their dream. But that day, I was scared and I decided I don't wanted to do engineering and I wanted to go to medical. Okay, my parents agreed. They're like, fine, you got scared, you'll go to Akash. And I gave the test over there. And I was like, okay, try that. The test was scary. A hall filled with all studious students, and I got scared again. Again, my insecurity. I was comparing myself to someone else. And now when I look back and I realize, why was I even doing it? Why? I mean, I wanted to be something for myself, right? So it doesn't matter who's the other person and who he or she is and what they want to do. This is now what I realized. Everything got scrapped up. I went to some different tutorial only. And then everything was okay. I had my friends in the tuition and I enjoyed going to the tuition for 11th and 12th. And I had really fun time in 11th and 12th. Coming back to engineering. I had accepted that I can't do medical because I saw the Akash test and all. No offense to Akash also. I'm so sorry. I didn't go there. I don't mean to offend or say something bad about you. But that's where I realized that reading a bio textbook is not being a doctor. It's different. I understood. This is how I say that, incidences, experiences give you lessons which you learn, and then you can decide what you want to do in future. Why to strive for perfection in the beginning only? Wait, struggle, understand, evolve, let it unravel around you, and then you will find your own perfect way, your own perfection. So this is how I landed up in IT, engineering, and I'm grateful that I am here because whatever I have learned is whatever I'm enjoying right now. Honestly, in 10th, in the beginning, I was scared of coding. We had Java and all this thing was very new. My teacher had once shouted at me, and then I became insecure again. Embarrassment in front of all the class. How can this happen to me? I always wanted to be in the good books, trying to please someone, trying to be someone else's perfect person. Now I realize that her shouting is a blessing for me now. At least I know some coding, some coding. I'm still learning, but something I know. My boards, like when the boards were there, a few months before boards, I came up home and I said I don't want to do computers. And in our school, we had to choose commerce or computers in 8th standard. So now I had given the test and I got selected. Before the board exam, a girl comes up and says, I don't want to do this particular subject. There's so much chaos in the family. There's board preparation, there's so much tension. But luckily, my family gave me this chance to be talkative. They heard complaints of me that she talks the class, she's always distracted, but they never asked me to shut up. They're like, let her talk, let her vent out, let her be there, let her be honest of whatever. So I came and I said this. They said, okay, if you want some extra help, we'll ask you to go to a tuition. Last 3 months of my boards, I only went for 6 classes and I got 95 in computers. That's it. I wanted to do coding. And that's where I decided I wanted to do coding. But I never knew that there are different languages. I only thought that's fun, that's it. That's fun. There's Java. That's what I have to do. Because I learned Java. Then I realized, no, sorry. I have to learn a lot of different things. Again, insecurity. How will I cope up? How will I, be there? How will I achieve everything? Honestly, even my friends, they told me that try completing one thing and just don't go everywhere, because I wanted to do everything at a time. And then there was stress, there was anxiousness, and there was, a whole lot of confusion in my head whether I want to do this. And I was also confused that if for certain tasks, say now I am in data analysis, but before choosing this, I was so confused whether this is the line that I will enjoy or not, or whether I want to go in core. I was so confused, and whether I choose something and then I find something more interesting, and what will happen? I was completely confused. And luckily, there were friends enough there for me to understand and support. I did a lot of courses and all. But again, that confusion that we find confusion to be a wrong thing. No, let it be there. Let it unravel around you so that you find out what you want to do. People find it very difficult to come out of confusion. Why to come out of that confusion? That confusion is yours. That problem is yours, and you will only find that solution. Don't try and run away from it. Honestly, whatever I'm saying, it took me 20 years to understand, and I'm still not following it on daily basis. I every day say that this particular thing is not complete. I have to do this, I have to do that, and I'm unable to finish few tasks. But and then again, by the end of the day, I'm thinking that okay, let's just put up this work for tomorrow, and then I find myself that I'm imperfect again. That urge for me to please others and not be the perfect version of myself, as if I compare myself with some other person who is perfect, but I don't see that how much struggle that other person has done to be perfect. This point I understood from my brother. He is the best child of our house, best in academics, everyone's favorite, and I always wanted to be like him. But he is following his passion. He is the perfect mechanical engineer in the house. He knows everything, the smartest kid, and I wanted to be like him. But then I didn't see the point that how much he struggled, how much he worked hard to be the perfect version of himself and not anybody else's. He never compared himself with others. We never know how life will surprise us where. I never wanted to be an engineer. I started this thought of being a teacher, which gets no homework, no exams, no study pressure. But then I realized, no, there's a lot of study that you have to do before becoming a teacher. Quit that plan. Then I wanted to be a doctor. The biotextbook is not medical. And then now here, where I'm really happy, where I'm really fascinated by data, and I really want to work in this world, which gives me so much. I mean, data is enormous. Imagine the amount of opportunities that I will get. And now I look forward to it, just because I learned all these things from my incidences and my experiences, where I cried, where I broke down completely, where my family had to handle all the drama that I did. Even my friends, while I was trying to choose the specialization. You won't believe, I really thought that I need to complete all the courses, I need to see everything, then I will decide. And I was so anxious that I couldn't complete one task. I wanted to do everything, but I was not finishing one point also. And that made me again guilty. But today, now I realize that I was just trying to find that SI unit of perfection, which does not exist because it's unique for everyone. Be perfect in your own way, not in others' perspective. Perspective matters over here. One more thing is that what I realize, that stress. We just stress out on every small thing. But that's also important, I realize. Because if there's no stress, I believe there's no growth. Maybe this is because I am a person who likes to do all the things on the last point, the last day, submission on the last day, any project submission or any competition on the last day, which is wrong, which is a kind of procrastination, and I am working on it. I'm sorry. But this is what keeps me growing. Maybe this is similar, and few might find it relatable, but others might be having a proper to-do list for the day, everything planned, and it works. That's also good. But as I told you, I belong to the second bunch where things are planned but they do not work out. So everything on the last moment. So that stress, or that trigger, I should say, is what is keeping the growth in me alive. Because if there is no anxiousness, if there is no stress, and honestly, if there's no comparison also, I'm not supporting that you should compare each other, but that is what is keeping the competition alive, a healthy competition, where we all can achieve whatever we want, because we see someone, make that person our idol in a positive way, and then try and become something like him or her. But in that process, we find our original strength, or our actual interest. That's what keeps us motivated, and always wanting something. The moment our dreams or our wishes, or even the small things that we want in a day, in a particular day, like very little things. I'm not saying that something huge, like a degree or a particular university admission or a college admission. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that those small things that we achieve, those are the tiny steps that we take. And this is what I have realized. When I interacted with different people, and I'm blessed to have such people and to have such interactions with them, they told me, I always look at the end picture and I always cry over it because it's very huge, but I never ever saw the process. And that's what made me insecure, and that's what made me think that I am imperfect, and then that never let me embrace myself. So now those little things that I do, and that little things are mine, that's the moment I accept it, it becomes easier. So in short, I would say you are a perfect thing, and you don't have to compare yourself with anyone else, because the moment you leave your aspect of being you or your originality, things don't fall in place. So that's where I understood that no, it's okay, take your time and hang in there. Whatever situation it is, face it up, finish it up, and you will end up in a good path. As I gave you example of my school, college, I'm fortunate enough to have an open family, good school, good college, but it's difficult. I understand. Planning has to be there. This life at times gives us shocks and surprises. As I told you about my brother, unfortunate thing is that he's no more with us, the perfect man. I lost him to COVID this year, but I am so happy that in his span, whatever years he was there, he achieved everything. So that's my impression, or that's the idealism that I get from him. That even though I thought his life was perfect, I never saw his struggle. But now I realize how hard he worked, how hard situation was for him. He went through the same stress, anxiousness as all we are. He also did engineering, so he must have faced the same things. But he achieved everything for him. So he is perfect in his own way. And I think we all should be that. And one thing which I have really learned is time heals everything. So just hang in there and believe in yourself a little more, and you will achieve everything. So thank you so much for being patient and listening to my blabbering. This is whatever I learned in my 20 years of existence, and I'm trying to practice this every day, trying to be positive and trying to understand that it's okay to be imperfect, because that's your perfect version. Thank you so much. Thank you. All are a very lovely audience. Thank you.